Good day and greetings in my channel. Today we have BYD Song Plus. This is the bestseller in China, bestseller for export from China, one of the top-selling SUVs, but with a small remark. Here in this number of top-selling included also DM or hybrid versions. Today we have the EV version, which is much more popular for export, but domestically DM or hybrid versions probably selling more. This car has already the third or fourth facelift, and the production started in 2020. This is the 2025 model year car, and I will try to show you today what has changed compared to the previous version, the Champion version, which was 2024 model year and looked exactly the same, and this is the 2025 Honor version. Let's start. We start from the body. The body is same as it was in the debuted BYD Song Plus in 2020, but the front a little bit changed, the rear a little bit changed, and because the front changed, the car is a little bit longer. Now the length of the car is 408,075 millimeters. It is much bigger than, for example, Volkswagen ID.4, and it's quite feelable inside of the car. The main difference about the body is that now this car is fully zinc coated. It has galvanized steel panels inside, outside, and body crate as well. The first generation was not like that. The first generation was partially with zinc coated, partially not. It was a little bit weird, but now everywhere we see that zinc coating of the metal. It's quite important for the durability of the car, long lasting of the car. The inside panels of the door, inside door construction also zinc coated, as well as the body crate right here. I measure it and it has galvanized zinc coating, but the tailgate is made of plastic, right? Right. In terms of technical specification, we always have the front-wheel drive. Before they had some DM version with four-wheel drive, but now they do not produce this anymore. And in electric version, we have always the single motor on the front axle, which is 205 horsepower, 310 Newton meters, or 218 horsepower, 330 Newton meters. And the acceleration will be approximately same. It's 8.5 from 0 to 100, because with more powerful motor, you have the bigger and heavier battery. So they had to compensate it to making the adjustment of the motor a little bit different. In terms of batteries, we have the 400 volts platform. It hasn't changed in the first generation, and we have two type of batteries: the 71.8 kilowatt hours, which was in the first generation as well, with the range by CLTC cycle 520 kilometers. And judging from my own experience, I used to drive this car, it's possible to reach in normal life, in city driving, in highway driving, because this car is really very energy effective. And also after the facelifting, the first big facelifting with these front tail lights, the front lights, this car received the 87 point something kilowatt hours battery. Of course, all the batteries are BYD late batteries. It means the chemistry here is the lithium firm phosphate. With this bigger battery, this is exactly a version like that, the top version. This car has the range by CLTC 605 kilometers. Suspension is the same in all generations of BYD Song Plus. In front, this is a simple MacPherson with 2 points of fixation to the body, with the changeable ball bearing, which is on the bolts, and the ground clearance under the battery, under the front plastic cover protection, is 190 millimeters, which is quite nice, especially taking into account this is only 19-inch wheels. There are no any other size of the inch of the wheels of the rims for this car. The rear part of this car is something I like to criticize, because they didn't use completely this space which is under the trunk floor. They didn't make the spare tire here. They didn't make the storage here. It could be around 70 liters of storage, but no, we have just empty space. And here, as you see, the suspension, the subframe is totally looks like in the air. This suspension is multi-link suspension, looks like from Japanese car, from Toyota or something. And there we have the battery. As you see, the bottom is completely flat, so the ground clearance under the battery, under the front protection, is exactly same. Under the hood, there is basically no change compared to the first generation. We don't have any frunk. Everything is covered with plastic coverage, but from the Champion version, starting from the previous restyling of this car, facelifting, we have the heat pump in the air conditioning system in all the version, and in this car we have it as well in all the version. Also, all the version of this car by default have the V2L system. It means you can use your car as a power bank. We just open the charging port, we insert this adapter here, and here we have the 220 volts with 3.2 3.3 kilowatt of power. So easy, just you need to turn it on the central screen. Technical part basically finished, and now we talk about the versions of this car, the equipment, and we have totally 3 versions of BYD Song Plus 2025 model year Honor Edition. Before, in Champion Edition, which looks exactly same with different rims, we had 5 versions. Now we have 3, and this is the top version. I will show you very detailed what are the differences between the 3 versions. In top version like this, we have the adaptive LED headlights. Adaptiveness means they change automatically from near to far light. In medium version we have it as well, but in basic version we don't have this, but the automatic opening and closing we have. We have these 19-inch rims, light alloy rims in all the versions without any extra fee, and we have the cameras 360 in all the versions by default. But the biggest difference you can, maybe the only difference you can define them from appearance between the versions is the blind spot monitoring, which is right here. The medium version and the top version have the full set of level 2 autopilot with adaptive cruise control, with blind spot monitoring system, with lane keeping assistance and so on. But in basic version you have just old-fashioned simple cruise control. All the other differences, of course, inside of the car. All the versions have the keyless entry system. And here we have the new interior. They didn't change interior from the starting of production of Song Plus, even after the big facelifting, but after this small facelifting, they made this coffee with milk colored interior, which I personally like very much, but unfortunately they do not have really dark interiors, which would boost their sales, but they don't do it at all. And here we have the one thing which is a little bit worse compared to the Song Plus Honor type of 2024 version. We do not have the Infinity audio system. Here in 2025, the audio system is same in all 3 versions. It's 9 speakers of the audio system without any brand, but in the top version of Champion of 2024 model, we had the Infinity audio system with 12 speakers. The steering wheel has the natural leather finishing, which is very nice in all versions, and we also have only in this new facelift version the option of steering wheel heating by default in top and subtop version. In basic version we don't have it. We also have this seat material, which is imitation of leather, which cannot be genuine leather in any of the versions, and in all the versions it's same. In top and subtop version we have the seat heating and ventilation, the front seats of course, and also we have the both seats with electric adjustment. But in the basic version we don't have the electric adjustment of the passenger seat. One thing which I really like about the driver's seat, that we can adjust not only the height of the cushion but also its angle by adjusting the height of the front part and rear part separately. But unfortunately we don't have the lumbar support regulation here in this car. For example, ID4 Pro it has. The interior is basically taken directly from the BYD Song Plus from 2020, but it has many small improvements. For example, we have the wireless charger with cooling with maximum power of 50 watts, which will definitely charge your mobile phone, not just make it hot, and that's all. We also have the same cluster gauge as in the 2020 version, which is extremely nice, extremely perfect, with a lot of physical buttons which can steer these gauges and also steer the adaptive cruise control system. It's super comfortable. Just by pressing one button I can push here, I can outcome here the music, the navigation, or for example the timer for acceleration from 0 to 100. Here I have the menu of tire pressure monitoring system, and this is quite large gauges. It has 12.3 inches of the diagonal. Here we have the 15.6 inches of the diagonal, but this is only in the top version. 2 other versions will have 12.8, and this is same what we had in the first generations of the BYD Song Plus, by the way. We also have the ambient lighting, which is not available in the basic version, but in the 2 other versions we have it, and of course it's very nice ambient lighting with a super large amount of colors, basically endless amount of colors. Unfortunately, we do not have HUD system in this car, and we never had it before. Generally, the ergonomy and the seat position is very nice in this car. It's very classical SUV where I have a lot of space over my head, and now I'm in the lowest position, and I have about 10 10 to 15 centimeters, and I'm 1 meter 78 centimeters of height. We also have the glove box here, which is very simple in terms of finishing, but quite spacious. And we have this armrest box, which also doesn't have any finishing, just plastic, but also quite spacious. Traditionally for the BYD, and thank you very much, they have still a lot of physical buttons for the main functions, such as turn off, turn on the conditioner, such as this wheel for changing the volume, such as this button for changing the driving mode, this button for changing recuperation intensivity. Now all the three versions have a panoramic sunroof openable by default. Before it was not like that, some versions were without the panoramic sunroof, so basically we have general improvement. And the second row, now I'm sitting behind myself, is one of the best in the class. Of course, some cars can be compared, like Geely Galaxy E5, but generally it's still one of the best second row, with totally flat floor, with quite low floor and very huge seat cushion, with the possibility of adjustment the seat back angle, but you would probably use the biggest angle. It's the most convenient, the most comfortable. We also have this large and convenient armrest with cup holders. We have two USB ports, and we have the deflectors of a climate system. In my opinion, it's really super nice, super comfortable second row, with very comfortable armrest in the correct in the nice space, nice place for it. Very nice ergonomy, and I have plenty of space over my head. I'm 178 centimeters. I still have about 10 to 15 centimeters here. This car is prepared for export. I will show you the full set of accessories from factory which this car has. The V2L adapter, the tire repair kit, this jacket, which is basically needed only in China for the registration of the car, but also it will be useful if you have some problems on the highway. This basic charger, this is 8 ampere charger, which probably you will never use because it's really not good, but still you have it for free in this car. This, you know what, for the nut covers for the wheels. These are the wipers, because now you have the temporary transportation wipers installed on this car, as all the BYD have. Here we have also the triangle for emergency. But we also have one thing which is not included here, because I will send it to the buyer separately. We have the microphone of the karaoke system, which is also by default in all versions. And also, as an optional feature, we have this wall charger for 7 kilowatt for charging your car. It's 7 kilowatt the BYD charger, AC of course, and also we have the floor mats, which we also provide to our buyers. The trunk here is extremely good, extremely roomy, but it could be better. Let's go detailed. Here we have the false floor, which could be in the two positions, like this or like this. In this position we have some space under it, but basically it's not usable because it's too flat and too shallow. But here we have the organizer, and this organizer is very shitty because here we don't have any niche, we just have unused space. Here is just unused space. Nevertheless, here we have the all factory accessories which should be put here. Nevertheless, we have 547 liters in this configuration and about 2000 liters when we fold the seats. And if we have the false floor in this position, we have basically the flat floor, and the infography of the size you will see right now on your screen, so you can decide if this car is practical or not. And we also have this rolled for covering your belongings in your trunk. It works normally, just I am a little bit, like this. It works totally normally. I think this car is very nice and practical in terms of the trunk. Now it's time to make a test drive. I used to drive the first generation of Song Plus, and I criticized it a lot because it's not up to my taste. It doesn't mean it's bad, but really not up to my taste. So we will check what has changed here, and I will try to describe you how this car drives. When I used to drive the first generation, I criticized this car because it used to lean, it used to tilt, even when you drive like 10 kilometers per hour. You just do like this and you feel it's tilting, even on the parking space. It was a unique experience. And I must say this car improved. It will be funny if in fact it's not improved and I'm just telling some bullshit, but I feel this car is different. Of course they had to change suspension, at least because the battery here is 16 kilowatt hours bigger in the first generation, so probably it's adjusted, probably it's more tough, and I like the steering of this car much better. But generally it is the same car, which is very easy to compare with Toyota Camry. If you're ever driven Toyota Camry, basically this is the same feeling. Even the suspension looks from appearance very close to Toyota Camry. This is, by the way, quite good soundproofed car. I drive here quite comfortably, and the suspension is aimed at the comfort. Now we have very bad roads, and we deal with it very comfortably. This is good car for those who are like who has bad roads in their country, or a good car for those who like the Toyota Camry comfort driving. In other terms, the ergonomy here is perfect. All the mirrors on their side, on their correct place. By the way, mirrors have folding and heating in all the versions. Everything is totally nice in this car, and no, for sure it drives better than the first generation. The other problem which they could not deal with, and of course could not manage to deal with, is the parasite steering, or steering by adding the power to the front wheels. This feature is extremely outlined in this car because the suspension is quite soft. The power on the front wheels is quite huge. This is even more power than before, and when I step the accelerator even on the 50 kilometers per hour, I have a lot of slippery of the front wheels, a lot of slippery. So this is the front wheel drive, the tires are relatively narrow, and basically this is the problem of front wheel drive car, which some cars could manage to cope with, like Avis, for example, from our previous video. But here you still have this problem. Unfortunately, you cannot realize the power of this motor, and also you cannot have the safe driving on any of the regime and on any of the speed. Because of this overpower for the front wheels, we cannot even do the acceleration test with the timer, which is by default have in the system of the most of BYD from factory. It just showed that acceleration failed. Yes, we have a little bit slippery surface here, but it would not be any problem for example, rear wheel drive Volkswagen ID.4. We've just made the detailed review of BYD Song Plus 2025. In my opinion, this car improved compared to the 2020 version. I'm sure that suspension here tuned and adjusted better, but generally it's the car with the same soul, just large, spacious interior owning SUV with very comfortable and, let's say, mild and smooth driving. If you want to buy this car from China to any of your country, just buy the contact information under this video. These particular cars are being exported as well. Soon we will load them to containers. And please hit the bell, subscribe to my channel, and leave the comment which car you would like me to review in the next video. Thank you.